Hello, I'm Anna Goldstein, and I'm so happy to have you here today. And today I want to talk to you about a topic that I get a lot of questions about. And the topic is how to make the distinction between your ego and your intuition. So essentially, the voice in your head and the voice in your heart, more or less. Now, this is a journey that as human beings that we're on. It's the journey to really getting connected, more connected with our hearts and living a life that's in alignment with that. So you're not alone on this challenge, and I'm in it too. I'm just like you. I'm in a process that I'm constantly refining and improving. And I know that this has been extremely transformational for me when I learned this skill and the ability to make the distinction of the ego versus my intuition. Now, one of the things that is challenging for us as human beings is that we hear so many voices. And so it's really understanding which voice do we follow. And those decisions really have a big impact on our life. So, one of the main ways to tell the difference between your ego and your intuition is a few different qualities. And I'm going to go over those qualities with you. One is the tone. So I know for me, the tone of voice that my ego speaks to me is harsh versus the tone of my intuition. The other is the location. So I know that for me, the location, it feels like it's coming from my head versus my intuition feels like it's coming more from my belly area or from my gut or heart. The other is the pace. So my ego talks very fast. This is me. Your ego might be a little bit different, but my ego has a tendency to talk really fast, whereas my intuition talks very slow. Like it will be like, do this. The ego is repetitive, so it will keep repeating the same thoughts over and over and over again. Whereas my intuition will typically say like, just one thing, like, hey, do this. So those are some qualities to be able to understand in terms of making that distinction. So I find this extremely helpful in my ability to make decisions. So when you start with this practice, start with something small. Don't start with like this big decision that you have to make, but start with small decisions such as it could be deciding what to eat for dinner. Like, for me, there like I know that sometimes my head will be like, you should eat something healthy or you shouldn't eat something that's not healthy, whereas I'll really be in the mood for something else. So really starting to follow that. Or sometimes for me, it will also appear as like if I'm cleaning and I'll kind of be like, oh, I'll pick that up later. My intuition will be like, no, pick it up now. So it's really starting to live according to your intuition. Now, your intuition will challenge what you prefer to do. It will challenge that rational mind. It will challenge the logical thinking. And it doesn't mean that it's wrong, because whenever I have followed my intuition, I want to say it almost wasn't really the logical thing to do, but the result was magnificent. So there is some, I want to say, risk taking involved, but it's relying on a different type of source. So it's not relying on your head and kind of this logical way of thinking, but it's a little bit of more of this. I want to say surrendering to trusting yourself in a different way. And it in many ways it depends on the way that we look at it, but it can be actually a very rational thing to do to trust your intuition because your intuition does give you valuable information. So I encourage you as you go along in the next coming week or so to really start to pay attention to what your intuition is guiding you to do and make decisions based on that. So it does take some courage, and I'm rooting you on. It could be speaking up at work or telling somebody something that you haven't told them before, but I really guarantee you that if you start to make this distinction between your ego and your intuition, and you start listening to your intuition and taking these actions, that your life will become magnificent. So I would love to hear from you about the challenge that you're going to take on in terms of making a decision. And if you have any questions or you're interested in coaching, you can reach out to me at annagoldstein.com. And thanks so much and have a great day.